Okay, let me pull up my. There we go. All right, Tim.
Hey,
Thanks for doing this, man.
of course,
So
anytime.
yeah, want to talk a little bit about your journey and where were you prior to starting with Core Five Coaching? Now you initially joined on as kind of a trial for 3 to 4 weeks, and I would
Yep.
love for you to kind of talk about your journey and where you were prior to joining Core Five Coaching.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was just a casual gym goer, I guess, right? I would go to the gym, um, on and off though. Like sometimes I would go for whatever months, and then I would stop for like a little bit, and I start going. I would stop for a bit, and then like I would just kind of keep on going. I don't even have like a good like regimen going, like a routine. I
Hmm.
just go through like splits, and I look for whatever kind of fits my schedule and stuff like that. Um, and that's when I found you.
Awesome. Would you say like what was like your biggest maybe challenge or frustration before you started?
The frustration I think is not seeing any gains
Mm,
and having I'm at like the weight, or I was at the weight where I didn't want to be at, I guess.
yeah.
Um with a bunch of BMIs and all that. And I just felt like I wasn't gaining anything and like less motivation. I think it became mundane after a while, right? Like you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, not seeing results, and you just felt like discouraged, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of like hamster wheel, like you're just spinning your wheels in place, you're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I just like I don't want to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, unmotivated, but the
Yeah.
journey.
But now, why did you join with Core 5 coaching? Like what were your top goals or what stood out to you?
What stood out was to me was the online coaching and actually how convenient it was to be able to reach out to your personal trainer and then to actually have access on your phone to see what kind of workout that you do. Actually, what kind of impressed me much is that we the ability um, not record, but like to document what we eat throughout the day, like your weight and everything. And my top goal when I was gonna join is to if I could see if I could lift more weight and to see if I could lose some weight, and to and I had some kind of back problems at the time, like sitting down, because I sit down a lot, right? Like for work. Um, so when I came in there, I was like, oh hey, I think this can help me. When I saw you, when I first met you, like,
Hmm.
hey, I think this could help me, and it did.
That's amazing.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you told me you were at the gym and you had someone come up to you and kind of
Yes.
notice. So
Yeah.
that's such a good feeling. So your lower back, is kind of maybe a little
Yes.
bit in pain. So that got better. You're feeling a little
Mm-hmm.
bit stronger, and other people
Yeah.
are noticing the gains. That's
Yes. That good. That's amazing. I mean, I think the results, like, I didn't notice it, right? Because I'm like, I see
yeah,
myself every day,
yeah,
and then, but it's like I go to the gym, right? And I think it's also the coaching thing is more so about like accountability, right? Because then you have someone that kind of not watches over you, but coaching you obviously, and it feels like, oh shoot, I really got to go to the gym, you know, like I
yeah.
gotta go, like I gotta do it, like that's what I've been doing, and I'm seeing the result, man. I mean, the warm ups that you gave me, the stretches, right? I
Hmm.
I was intimidated the first time because I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is gonna go, and I kind of like asked you a lot of questions. Remember that time? I was like, oh
Yeah.
dude, can I do this? Can I do that? And then when I kind of like look into the deeper into like exercises, I'm like, oh, this is not bad. There's actually I think only seven or so exercises, including like the warm ups. Um, but the result for me was actually like my back is a little bit better. It feels a bit looser doing the warm-ups that you gave me, the stretches. And actually I was able to strengthen I feel like my legs are about a bit stronger now. And because I wasn't used to doing like the exercise that you gave me, I was like, what is this? And like in the beginning, like I told you, I was like kind of like off balance a little bit doing the 3D lunges, right? It was like,
Yeah, yeah.
but it actually got better doing that, right? Like it's I'm feeling more stronger. I'm feeling more balanced now, and then yeah, and the biggest thing was when somebody came up to me right after like the third week, and it's like, hey man, like have you lost weight or something? This is at the gym, and this guy is like ripped, right? Like
Oh,
he's not just like a regular
feeling
guy. Yeah, it's like you lost weight. I'm like, really, dude? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, telling you,
yeah, yeah,
it works.
you know,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like the exercises work, the regimen works, the warm up, everything works, and it's like, you know, I'm glad. I'm glad I could, dude. I mean, you gave me an exercise that I've never even heard of before, and that was like, oh, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of like a little bit getting you out of that mundane, routine
Yeah,
that you were in, a little bit out of your comfort zone.
yeah,
And but at the same time meeting you where you're at and not going over the top. Like you're not going in
right,
and having to do an hour and a half, two
right,
hours in the gym. Like it's
yeah,
concise. You're in there 45 minutes an hour and you're gone.
yeah,
You're going about your day, right? And having
yeah,
that, having someone in your corner, so to speak, for when you do have those questions, or maybe you're feeling a little lost, like what's the purpose? Having that person
yeah,
you can just like, pull up and be like, hey, shoot off that quick question and be like, hey, looking for that answer, and then be able to,
yeah.
keep making sure that we're staying on track with the grand plan, if you will.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I love it. And the exercises too, like I feel like you don't have to go crazy, like with weights, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I was doing like 20 pounds, 17 and a half pounds,
Hmm.
25. Like it wasn't crazy, but what's funny, I think it's just because it's the movement that I've never like barely do or I've never seen, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was like enough to make me like shake going up, It was like, oh yeah, this is even if
Yeah.
it's like lightweight, and I'm like, all right, this is good. I mean, and to be honest, when I went through your program, right, when I was in the program, um, I actually sweat more than I than usual, which I think is telling me like I'm working a little bit harder than
Yeah.
usual because the exercises, it's there something to guide me with, and not just like you know like going
Yeah.
whatever,
You gotta, it sounds like you had like, you really got to stay focused on what you're doing. And that's one of the
Yeah,
things with like getting caught in the same old rut, same routine is, you get to the point where you just kind of go through the motions, right?
yeah,
You're not
yeah,
really, you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. You're just kind of doing it. And that's when you're not really giving it your all,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
What would what would what would you tell someone who is maybe on the fence, who maybe has done something in the past? What would you tell them if they were considering joining Core 5 coaching?
I'd say go for it 1000% because
Yeah,
having
love that,
someone
man.
like to coach it, no, 1000%, man. Because I see results in like 3 weeks. I mean, everybody will be different, right? I'm not saying you will see it in a couple weeks, but like I think everybody's different, right? But like me personally, I see changes like in such a um not even a quick not even a quick time interval, but it's enough for me to be believers, to be a believer, you
Yeah,
know. But and if you are on the fence, go for it. Don't be intimidated. Everything is easy with the app, and the app even shows you. I think like the way how to do the exercises, the movement, and everything. 100%, man. And having someone to coach you and to what do you call this? To have accountability with is great, man. Great. 1000%. I would.
dude. Thank you so much. I love that.
You're
I love
welcome.
that. And the thing I want to highlight for you, Tim, is, you did mention like not everyone is going to see like maybe such a drastic change in 3 weeks, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of that in part was, you know, being able to, I feel like me and you really had like a coaching client connection, and you
Yeah.
really followed through. Like you were an
Right.
all-star. Like everything that was asked of you, you followed through, you recorded it. So it allowed me
Thanks, man.
to really make sure that this is the right thing for you and the change accordingly. And you,
For
again,
sure.
you did everything that was asked. And I think the proof is in the pudding. Like putting in that effort on your end is really, why someone maybe came up to you
Hey,
3 weeks in and
yeah,
like, hey
yeah.
man,
Thanks,
like,
man.
yeah,
No, thank you. And I think that again it's important, right? Because I want to see the change, so I have to put in the work, right? So that
100%.
would, and like I said, for someone who wants to join, right? And you might tell them, right? Hey, you have to fill this out. Hey, you have to, like the tracker, the weight, or whatever. But hey,
Yeah.
man, it doesn't take that long, honestly. It's and when I heard that, I was like, oh damn, this is a lot of things to do, right? But then you go through it a couple times, and you're like, oh, okay, this has become a habit. It's not bad at all, completely. And I could say, man, like I think when I told you when I started, I was between 188 to 190,
Yeah.
right? Dude, within 3 weeks, right now, I'm at. This morning I did the weighing, and I was at like 185.3, and so like I haven't seen 188 for the last like 3 weeks.
See, that's amazing. So like when we first started, we talked about the trend, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you're trending in the right direction. And I also want to highlight too that even though some people out there might go, oh, it's just 3 pounds.
Right.
What's the big deal? You're 3 pounds down the scale, but at the same time, you're getting stronger and people are coming up to you and saying something. That
Yeah.
tells me that you're getting that nice quality muscle in the
Yeah.
places that make you look and feel really, really good. And that gives,
Yeah.
even though it was only 3 pounds on the scale, that really
For
can
sure, bro.
show that the scale only tells a part of the journey
Yeah.
and the importance of making sure that we have all these other things that we're looking at
Yeah.
in the grand scheme.
Yeah. Gotcha. And seeing changes, right, in such a
Yeah.
quick pace like that, it makes me motivated more. I'm like, oh shoot, let's do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be in the gym, right? Like getting some hand pump, like whatever. I would like take pictures, take some pictures and
Hey,
send it
that's
to my
awesome, man.
send it to my mom. I'm like, what'd you think?
That's
She loves
great.
it. She loves it,
That's
man.
great. I love
Yeah.
so that right there, that's confidence, man. And I think,
Yeah.
riding that wave, stoking that fire, I think is amazing. And,
Yeah.
keeping that going for as long as you can and just,
For sure.
enjoying this time in the journey where you're experiencing those wonderful results, I think is
Heck yeah.
awesome. Proud of you,
Heck
man.
yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for coaching.
Cool.
I got a good coach.
Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this, Tim.
Anytime, man. You're welcome.